Happy New Year, guys! I'm Kate from Sairai. Some of you guys may already know me. And today I thought we would start off the year in a new way, for me at least, with my first YouTube video where I flipped through my completed journals of 2024. For the first 6 months of the year, I journaled in Traveler's Company Accordion inserts, and this is the first insert from January. I try to have a color theme every single month. In January, I had green as my theme. It's a very nice way to start off the year, very calming color. In my journals, I try to use different decorative elements like tip-ins, stickers, washi tapes, PT tapes. So, especially with the tip-ins, I will try to open all of them so you can see what's hiding underneath. And if there's any other element that moves, it will be moved. If I don't forget, obviously. For February, I had an orange theme combined with Pokemon because apparently Pokemon Day is somewhere in February, or is it Pokemon Month? My partner likes Pokemon cards, hence my abundance of Pokemon. I use Tatsugiri for the Lunar New Year since it's apparently a dragon Pokemon, which is funny because it's a sushi. In this entry that I'm showing off right now, I hid away a renting day. When I like to rant or write about negative feelings, I try to hide the entry so when I go through my journals for casual purposes, I don't necessarily see those entries. My journals often contain mundane elements of my day or happy things that happened instead of, the sad parts or the I need to rant about work entries. In March, I started a new job with a whole different career, and I took a picture of myself. If you know me, I don't like to take selfies. My parents have to beg me to get a single selfie every single year. I don't live in the same country as my parents, so they do like to have pictures of me and my partner. But anyway, I thought it would be nice to commemorate the occasion in my journal, hence the picture. For April, I did a brown theme, and in hindsight, I wouldn't do this again. It was too dark. Since, April is the start of spring most of the time, and you want bright colors or pastel colors, and everyone is happy and cheerful. And then my journal was all doom and gloom with dark brown. It turned out nice, and I like how the spreads look, but I don't find it very appropriate for the month it was in. In May, I had a red theme, and it starts out a bit busier than I would like in the pages. Like these 3 pages are very busy, but then afterwards it tapers off and becomes more minimal, more my style. One of my favorite type of paper to use is papers with natural elements embedded in it. I just love finding artisanal paper with flowers or leaves. It adds an extra playful element in your journals. The tip in here is actually my favorite. It's 4 entries, just in one single space. I just think it's so cool of how I thought of it and combined the elements. Yes, I am patting myself on the shoulder, but I like what I create, Well, most of the time, not all the time. This is my final accordion insert for the year. This one, the theme was to hide all of the text, and obviously some papers fold open naturally, so it didn't completely work out. But the idea is that when you fold out the entire accordion, you would only see decoration and no text. The end result is actually really beautiful. I really love this insert. It is just quite challenging to flip through since all the elements are, well, tipped in and only glued on a single part. So when you flip through it, it moves around, and in some pages the tape is not sticky enough, so the elements actually fall out. And obviously the theme was blue, which you might be able to tell. That Polaroid picture is a picture of me playing golf. It's the first time I tried it out. I was horrible at it, but I'm happy I tried it. And like I said, not all tape is sticky enough to hold in the elements. But again, that's part of the charm. It's cute. These two pages are actually my favorite. I really like the decoration, and even though it was on screen for a split second, I'm sure you can pause and check it out. Plus, most of these pages are posted on my Instagram, so that's a shameless plug. A lot of the ephemera I'm using in my journals is actually gifted by friends all over the world. So having these pieces of ephemera in my journals just feels extra special. In July, I decided to switch up my journal entirely, and I went for a Traveler's Company regular sized insert made by Take a Note. I always find that TRC or Traveler's Company is such a long name to say, and I generally trip over it. This was my first time in the regular size after 2 years, if I remember correctly. It's not a size I liked before, but I was like, you know what, let's try something new. It took a while for me to find the style that I liked, and I experimented a lot. You'll see different types of spreads in this insert. In the end, I really liked it. Not sure. Oh yeah, I didn't like the vertical weekly layout. I might have liked it more if it was a different layout, but the vertical space just wasn't enough to write horizontally. One of my favorite parts that I experimented with in this regular size is adding small elements throughout the page, or small details. So when you flip through it, there's like, oh, there's a small element here, and oh, that's hidden there. I really like that part of the exploration. Using dried florals is, again, like I said, a really huge part of my journals, and it brings me joy. So sometimes I try to have a whole page just dedicated to highlighting the dried florals. I met up with CY from Cusado Pens and Annabelle Hiller, the Nipmeister. I left all of my journals at home, which was a lesson learned because apparently when you meet up with stationery people, you need to bring your journals and pens. But they were nice about it, and CY wrote me a nice message, which I pasted in my journal, so that was the message I was folding open. In November, I went on a trip to visit my parents. I only stayed for a week, so a very short trip, but it was really nice to see them again after a year of not seeing. Well, we talk, you talk on WhatsApp, but it's not the same as seeing each other in person. This page has vellum. I really love vellum, and I especially like how the different elements of this vellum page interact with the layers underneath. So you might have, or you might not have, I don't know, noticed that the vertical line on the vellum lines up with the text of the bottom page. We've slowly reached December. My theme was red. And just like my rant on Instagram, I will rant it again here. There's just not enough red stationery, and I want more of it. So if you produce stationery and you're watching this, make red stationery and purple. Thank you. The notes pages in this insert I used for long form journaling. I was experimenting with it, and it's all in cursive, which I found very necessary. I like cursive, it's right here to my heart, and flipping through these finished pages just brings me so much joy. I started therapy this year, and I moved my therapy notes to my journal, which I feel like a lot of people would have started a different insert for it. But for me, it was a defining part of 2024, so it needed to be in my 2024 journal. And especially since I had the note pages for it, it went in there. And that's a picture of my parents hiding beneath that piece of paper, and then my boarding pass, which I also covered. Have you guys seen Arcane, the new animated show on Netflix? I used to play League of Legends and I love the show so much. In the end of this insert, I actually wrote a review or a 2024 looking back at the year type of deal. So I have all of my watched movies, all of the listened music, an overview of events that happened every single month, and a letter to myself and my aspirations for 2025. Anyway, that was it. I hope that I inspired you to journal, or if you journaled, I hope you enjoyed my flip through of my journals. Thank you so much for joining me on my first YouTube video and starting this new journey with me. Who knows, maybe this is gonna be a fun year filled with YouTube videos. See you next time. Bye!